Hello everyone, Adrienne here. So today I decided to do a very off-the-cuff video. I'm going to be covering some new goth bands, which I have not done in a while. I'm really sorry. I've just been really preoccupied with some other things. I'm so sorry. Trying to get through the last of the absent samples that I have been sent for reviewing, so I'm so sorry about that. But, that being said, this isn't really going to be very scripted. I'm just going to be talking very frankly about these different goth bands that I'm going to be featuring today, and they are all female-fronted goth bands or music projects, which is super exciting because oftentimes a lot of female-fronted goth projects really kind of get overlooked because, you know, you get those stereotypical, like, deep, you know, like, mumbly kind of stuff that is really common, very much in the style of, like, Sisters of Mercy or Joy Division, and there's not enough attention brought to the female vocalists, and especially the ones that don't necessarily follow the post-punk style, which is something that I have struggled with for a number of years, and try to feature more goth bands that kind of deviate from that post-punk sounding standard, if that makes sense. So the first band I would like to discuss is called Maalice, and it's Malice with 2 A's instead of 1. And they are based in France, and they describe themselves as French goth and queer, which is pretty cool. I really like featuring any kind of LGBTQ plus members of the goth community, and especially the artists. So they describe themselves as goth, experimental, queer, feminist band, which is great. They have a really nice kind of dark wavy sound with some touches and flourishes of rock, and I think it's really interesting. Obviously female fronted. I'm really happy with how they sound. They're just barely starting out, but I'm really hoping that anything else that comes out by them will be just as good. Of course, we can always only hope. And I'm really hoping that those who do hear them dig them really hard and will continue to support them even though they are just barely coming out. So here is Maalice. So the next band or project that I would like to discuss is called Capricorn. And those of you who are familiar with the band Dark Sanctuary, also based in France from way back when, they kind of broke up in 2012, and I'm so sad that I could never see them live. The pain. Oh. So, Dark Sanctuary is one of my favorite bands of all time. They definitely lean toward more like neoclassical and neo-opera, dark wavy, like neoclassical, dark wave, and ethereal sort of music, which obviously, why wouldn't I love music like that? Duh. That's kind of my favorite. That's my jam. So, Capricorn is a new project by the former lead singer of Dark Sanctuary. She is also based in France, and I really like what she's done with changing this from a very refined operatic approach like what she had from Dark Sanctuary, but just giving it just a little bit more grit. I just really love what she's done with it. She sounds a little bit more like Lisa Gerrard from Dead Can Dance, with how she's really using her chest voice in her vocals, and I absolutely love it. It's very ethereal and dark wavy. I think it's wonderful, and any fans of Dark Sanctuary, Dead Can Dance, and This Ascension, and maybe even Lycia, I think will really love what Capricorn has to offer. The next band I would love to discuss is Palace of Tears. I have discussed Palace of Tears extensively with my dear friend Adam of The Black Rose on Instagram, and the reason why is because they give such a wonderful hope of revival from the 90s goth tradition of female operatic vocals fronting the band, and I think that is wonderful. I think it's something that definitely should be encouraged a lot more because we just don't get enough of it, and also I kind of want to break into goth music with my operatic vocals as well. So it's admittedly kind of tiny bit for selfish purposes, but also I hope that it will kind of lead the way to my music being more accepted when my first original song comes out and more after that. So Palace of Tears is absolutely amazing. I believe the way that my friend Adam described them is if Diaform and I want to say Lycia had a baby, so kind of has more of the instrumentation of Lycia, but has like the operatic inspired vocals of Diaform, if that makes any sense. Here is a little bit of the Palace of Tears. I absolutely adore them. They've become a really wonderful kind of mood music for me, and anyone who loves ethereal darkwave and anyone who likes opera and any kind of neoclassical music, I think will really dig these guys. So here is the Palace of Tears. The next goth project I would love to discuss is called Velvet Kills. I believe they contacted me a while back, or maybe I heard about them on Twitter. I'm terribly sorry if I don't remember. I try to keep notes of these things, but honestly I do get contacted by a lot of different goth bands to try and feature them in a video or talk about them on my channel, all that fun stuff. So with Velvet Kills, it's really different. They kind of describe themselves as electropunk and rock synth, or maybe I'm getting that mixed up. Maybe it's punk synth and electro rock. However, I really think that they fit really, really well within the goth genre. They're really, really gritty. Like, that's the best way that I can describe it. They offer a really interesting electronic tapestry for their music with a little bit of rock vibes and some very gritty female vocals. So if the elegant and more refined and trained operatic vocals that I have mentioned here in this video so far are not really appealing to you, then I would definitely recommend you check out Velvet Kills. They really have some interesting textures due to the electronic elements as well as the gritty female vocals kind of paired together. So I think they're really interesting to listen to, and I think you guys will like them. And then the last project I would like to talk about is called Grave. Now, these guys, I am positive they have contacted me to talk about their music, and I haven't really gotten a chance to talk about them until now, and I'm really, really sorry. But when they do release more material, I am looking into covering them a little bit more on my channel. So it's called Grave, and it's not grave like spelled out Grave. It is spelled GR and then this symbol on a keyboard and then VE. No, I'm not flashing any kind of like secret societies, I promise. Knock that shit off before you even try writing that in the comments, okay? Thank you. And the best way that I can describe them is just really gorgeous, kind of ethereal darkwave music with some very tender and kind of spectral female vocals. So I really like what I hear. I think you guys will too. Really easy listening, and I could definitely see this being played in a club as well. So here is Grave. Alright, so those were all the bands that I had to feature today. Sorry that this is a bit of a shorter video, but I wanted to get something out, and I also wanted to show my support for the many goth bands that I have either discovered or that have been recommended to me or that have contacted me to feature their music on my channel. So this is kind of me making up for that. If there are any number of these bands that you are interested in me covering more extensively, like in a full kind of feature video like I usually do, let me know. And if you do prefer this format of me kind of giving kind of a series of features where I talk about multiple bands at the same time with like a short video or a short like music video or a sound bite of what they sound like. If you like that instead of me doing like the more extensive ones, please let me know and tell me in the comments below. I would be really, really interested to hear what you have to say so that I can improve my content in regard to supporting goth music. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and make sure that you go into the description below so you can check out all of the links associated with all of the bands that I have covered today. And make sure you send them your support, give them a listen. And just as a disclaimer, no, I'm not getting any kind of monetization from this video. It is all going to be going to the record labels or the bands themselves that I have featured in this video today. So I just want that to be known. I support these bands on my channel because I want them to get exposure, and I want the revenue that I would make on this video to go to them. It's only fair. So that is my way of showing my support for these bands. And like I said, go in the links below and contact them and say, hey, I heard about you from Ligeia Resurrected or Adrienne LaVey's channel. I really like you guys. I'm here to show my support. I would really appreciate that. Even if you leave my name out of it, I still appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already if you want more content on goth music, gothic literature, and absinthe, and more. And thank you so much to my patrons for your support every single month. I couldn't do it without you. And to everyone, you're amazing. I love you, and I will see you guys later. Bye!